Hello, welcome to Lesson 6. We have just been in Safavid, Iran, and I hope you've enjoyed it there. This great dynasty of the Safavids, with this great encounter that they had with the West, and I would say that a lot of our ideas of Iran or Persia, as it was continued to be called in the West, were formed from the Iran of this period, because this was the Iran that foreign emissaries were visiting. And we have quite a lot of words in our language that have come from this period also, and that encounter with the West and the representatives of various countries who were coming to the Iranian court, and who therefore introduced such things as what has become the tie, which in Farsi is still called cravat. This, I think, informs a lot of our idea of what the Orient looks like and how it behaves, and its riches and its luxuries, I believe, come from this period. Now, this great period ended in 1722 with the Afghan invasion. I think I've said in one of the other lessons that there are three, I think, invaders of Iran over the course of history that Iranians have never really forgiven. One is Alexander the Great. One is the Arabs. And the last is the Afghans and this invasion from Afghanistan. These 3 points are extreme points of trauma, I believe, for us in our history. Now, the Afghan invasion happened in 1722, but then we have a man from an Iranian tribe called Nader, who becomes Nader Shah. He becomes so powerful that he eventually takes the throne. Now, Nader Shah is known as the Napoleon of Iran. He had a relatively short rule, only until 1747, but in that time, he not only re-established the Persian Empire, the Iranian Empire under Safavid, as it had been under Safavid rule, and retook back the country, but he pushed east. And he pushed east into Mughal India, and in fact, he conquered the Mughals. He conquered India. And he went as far as Delhi, and this is where Shah Jahan, who was the first ruler of Mughal India, had this extraordinary throne made called the Peacock Throne that was made of gold and silver and set with jewels. And that's where he sat, and all the subsequent Mughal rulers had sat there. Nader Shah took the Peacock Throne away. He didn't hold on to the Peacock Throne for very long. In fact, the Kurds stole it from him, and apparently was dismantled. But anyway, a version was made in the 1800s, and that's the version that all the Shahs of Iran sat on ever since. So the Peacock Throne became symbolically an important emblem of the monarchy in Iran. And in fact, the last Shah, when he had his coronation, he was sitting on the latest version of the Peacock Throne. What Nader Shah also took from India, and he really did take an awful lot of loot, several elephants had to carry the stuff back, was a lot of lovely jewels, and one of them is the Koh-i-Noor, which is very famous, which is now in the crown jewels here. In fact, it's set in the crown, I believe, and the Daria-e Noor. So the Koh-i-Noor, Kuh means a mountain, so it's that diamond, and the Daria-e Noor is a sea. Famous diamonds, famous jewels that have gone back and forth and finally ended up in the Tower of London and in various different, because of the colonization of India by Britain. Nader Shah also conquered Oman and Bahrain and other territories, not just Mughal India. But in any case, he didn't rule for long. He was eventually killed by a member of his own army. It was not a very peaceful rule. The dynasty that followed was the Zand dynasty. And they had their capital in Shiraz, and there are still some beautiful fortresses from the time of Karim Khan Zand, who did not call himself a Shah. He continued to be a Khan. I just want to take a little note here to say this title, Shahanshah, which started with Cyrus the Great back in the Achaemenid times in 550 BC. Shahanshah means Shah of Shahs, King of Kings. Why? Because there were many other kings within Iran. That system was run. As I told you, they managed the empire with satraps. That system was run by there being many local kings, khans, different layers, I suppose, stratas of rulers. And the king of kings, the king, was the Shahanshah. He was the king of all the kings. That's where that title comes from, because we will hear Shahanshah right up until Arya-Mehri was called the last Shah of Iran. This was being used. And this is just, again, to say that this is a title and a way that goes right back into, for millennia. And therefore it was important. Now, Karim Khan Zand, he comes, he's around for a little while, and then eventually we get the Qajar dynasty. And in the next lesson, we're going to look at this period and coming into the modern Iranian period. From the Qajars, we come into really Iran, the beginning of Iran's long struggle for democracy. Please join me in the next lesson and we'll take you through that.